Okay. So, as I was telling last time, this is the last part of child abuse and neglect. And the questions percentage wise, if you see, there's higher chance of you can get around 5% marks questions from this. Okay. So before we go to the child neglect, I last time there was one thing that was told, that is shaken baby syndrome. Okay. So what do you mean by a shaken baby syndrome? So that question you can get it as a short note for you. Sometimes you can get that as a short note, like a shaken baby syndrome, or you know so for 3 marks questions like that, you can get that question. So shaken baby syndrome can be a fatal form of child abuse. Okay. So what happens is, shaken baby means you're just carrying it like this. You can carrying a child and you're just shaking it. It can be out of love, or you'll be playing with the child. So what happens, the intracranial hemorrhage or retinal hemorrhage, or loss of consciousness due to the vigorous shaking of the infant. Okay. Facts of shaken baby syndrome is, shaking is more likely to be done making up 76% of all the shakers, because they'll be taking and they'll be shaking the child. The way they carry or cuddle the child. And if the shakers is a female, it's more likely to be the babysitter. So about 70% of the victims are killed, because there will be intracranial hemorrhage will be there, and ultimately it will lead to the death of the child. And other 30 lives with the severe permanent injuries. Uh, one of the 4 babies die as a result of shaken baby syndrome. So this is what exactly happens when you shake the baby. What happens? You can see here the small intracranial hemorrhage that is happening here. Okay, so the intracranial pressure will increase, and automatically it will lead to the death of the child. So never ever when you a child. So I'll say, like, crying can't kill a baby, but shaking can kill a baby. So please don't do it. And this is the 3 factors which I found interesting, like 3 major components that will lead to the child abuse. That is, the child is the caregivers plus the stress. All these three things will come to a problem called as child abuse. Okay. Now today's topic. What do you mean by neglect, or what do you mean by neglected child? Okay. Neglected child is one who shows evidence of physical or mental health, primarily due to the failure on the part of parent or a caretakers to provide adequately for child's need. Because these, either it can be a physical health has damaged, or a mental health of the child is primarily damaged due to the failure, because the caregivers won't give proper care to the child. Caregivers won't give proper nutrition or for proper food to the child, or caregivers won't give a proper health care facilities to the child. So what happens? Automatically, that will lead to a neglecting part towards the child. So the types of neglect, mainly the healthcare neglect, including the dental neglect, will constitute of 8.7%. Emotional neglect is 27.8, that is the highest, and physical neglect is 7.8. So emotional neglect is, you will be emotionally blackmailing the child. This is what happens. I will leave you and go, and all those stuff comes under your emotional neglect. So coming to the physical neglect. What do you mean by physical neglect? Physical neglect means abandonment is a physical neglect. Expulsion, you are, expelling the child. You are shuttling the child. Nutritional neglect, clothing neglect. All those things comprises of physical neglect. You won't buy good clothing to the child, or you won't give a proper nutrition to the child, nutritional food to the child, whatever the child asks, you won't buy. All those things comes under your physical neglect. So next is the medical neglect. Medical neglect means denial of healthcare or delay in healthcare. Both denial and delay, both comes under your medical neglect. Sometimes the parents will be taking a child to you, saying that they will be coming to a dentist only after a certain time, like after the pain starts. Okay, after the child is suffering from severe pain, then only they might come to you. So that is a kind of neglect. That's a kind of dental neglect. Okay, so when you ask them, they'll say that there was no problem. They would have seen it, but they have not treated it. So that comes under your dental neglect. So coming to the dental neglect, what do you mean by dental neglect? Dental neglect is nothing but a failure by a parent or a guardian to seek treatment for visually untreated caries. Means you are seeing, you're seeing that there's a black decay is there that has to be treated, that you are not doing it, that all comes under your visually untreated caries or oral infections or oral pain or failure of the parent or guardians to follow through follow through with the treatment once informed that above condition exists. Means you are informing the parent that, see boss, my child is having your child is having a decay, there's some infection is there, there's a swelling is there, you need to treat. But the parent says, no, I don't want to treat, just give me some medicine. That's a dental neglect. You are informing, but they are not treating. That's a dental neglect. Now coming to the educational neglect. Educational neglect is permitted habitual absenteeism or failure to enroll or inattention to special education needs. Means sometimes they might be absent for longer period of time. They might be absent for a lot of classes. They won't enroll. They won't be participating in any of the events or any educational events that is happening. So that parents won't be allowing them to themselves, automatically will come to an educational neglect. So inadequate supervision, because educational lack of appropriate supervision or exposure to hazards or inappropriate caregivers, that all lead to an inadequate supervision. Inadequate supervision lead to a neglect. Now coming to the emotional neglect, that is something something which is most commonly, the percentage is more, that is inadequate affection. That one, inadequate affection comes when the when the child is accidental to the couple, then a chronic or extreme spouse abuse, so then a permitted drug or alcohol abuse. All those things will lead to the emotional neglect. The fact of how the parents behave, the parents won't be taking care of the child properly, so automatically what happens, that emotionally the child will be neglected, that emotional affection, nothing will be there. So effects on child's neglect. So these are all the effects that physically, these are all the effects in preschool, how it will be. So these are all the what are all the consequence of child neglect you can see. Okay, in infants, what you can see in preschooler, in school child and young person, all because the neglect continues till the child attains some age. Okay, so all those things, these are all the common common features or common behavior the child shows in all this period of time. Now coming to the next part, that is your dental age estimation. So again, this is again a short note. You can the question can be asked like dental age and chronological age, or difference between a dental age and a chronological age. All those things, all those types of questions can be asked. So what do you mean by dental age? Dental age is nothing but the dental age is assessed how is like which tooth has erupted into the oral cavity. According to that status, you will assess the dental age. Means if the premolar is assessed, premolars have erupted at the last, that means that what is the eruption time of the premolar, that will give the dental age of the child. So what do you mean by chronological age? Means the chronological age is nothing but what age the child has born. That is the chronological age. So there will be some discrepancy between the dental age and the chronological age. So dental age can be assessed by two methods. One is according to the status of tooth emergence in the oral cavity. I again say it's an emergence, because which is the tooth that lastly erupted in the oral cavity. Okay, it has to erupt. It has to be seen clinically. Then only you can tell that is the particular age of the child. Or according to the stages of tooth formation observed in the radiographs. Okay. Then next is, again, this is a short note. You can they can ask you as Nolla stages or dental age assessments. Okay, so you need to know about all the stages, and you need to draw the diagrams. Okay, when you are writing for the exams. So stage 0 is the absence of crypt. So there is nothing is formed. It's just a there is no tooth or no evidence of tooth is seen. Stage 2 is a presence of crypt. You can see a small crypt that is formed. Stage 1. Stage 2 is initial calcification. This is initial calcification you can see here. Then stage 3 is 1/3 of the crown is formed. Stage 4 is 2/3 of the crown is formed. Stage 5 is crown almost completed. You can see the crown part is completed almost. Then stage 6 is crown fully completed. Okay, stage 7 is 1/3 of the root formation. You can see here the 1/3 of the root is formed. Okay, stage 8 is 2/3 of the root is formed. Stage 9 is root almost completed, but the apex is open. And stage 10 is the entire apical foramen closure is done. Okay, the proper apical foramen is formed and the apical foramen closure is also done. So these are all the different stages of dental age assessment, or you can say different NOLA stages. Okay, so in this part, what I've taken, you can get ideally 4 questions. One is shaken baby syndrome. This is one question it can be asked. Second is the NOLA stages. Okay, dental age versus chronological age, and dental neglect. So these are the 4 questions that can ask for your exams. Okay, so when the next week, which are assignments you are writing, no? So these 4 questions, you write it according to the according to the, in such a way that you have got a short note. So ideally it will be a short note that will be asked.